And now viewers, holiday season is here and so people are rushing to the hills again. Year-end holiday crowds have flooded Shimla, Manali, Kullu and Dharamshala, choking roads across Himachal Pradesh. Visuals on your screen, in fact, showing you kilometers long jams that are now being witnessed on the hilly roads. Now, the winter carnival and Christmas New Year rush have pushed the traffic volumes to the limit, with about 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles entering Shimla daily at this point. In fact, officials have deployed 400 police personnel as over 3 lakh tourists are now expected in the coming days. Heavy congestion, long delays and slow-moving traffic are being reported across the hill routes, especially in and around Shimla. Situation, in fact, has worsened after the fresh snowfall, with nearly 1,000 vehicles now stranded between the Solang and the Atal Tunnel. Now, in fact, viewers, let me give you some figures as well. Around 700 tourists were rescued and moved to safer locations because of these jams. In fact, the tourism impact on hills is a double-edged sword, bringing economic benefits like jobs and revenue, but also severe environmental and social cultural changes. And in fact, uncontrolled tourism is increasingly putting pressure on fragile ecosystems, especially in the hill states and eco-sensitive regions such as Himalayas. So while tourism creates jobs, it often leads to economic imbalance, which favors short-term gains over long-term sustainability. Experts here stress that there is a need for sustainable tourism. We have to manage visitor numbers, we have to promote green practices, involve local communities and develop alternate destinations to reduce pressure on the hotspots. Viewers, a message at this point is pretty clear. Tourism must grow responsibly or risk damaging the very destinations people come to enjoy.
See that the problem is so vulnerable that even if we want to solve it overnight, it cannot be solved. So the thing is that the Himalayan terrain is already upcoming. That is tectonically it is a very disturbed area, and the Himalaya is considered to be rising continuously. So the rocks are fragile, and at the same time, its maintenance is not proper. So the thing is that if further the tourism every day 10,000, 15,000 vehicles are allowed to reach to the tourist destinations, then definitely it will further may be vulnerable for the already fragile environment. First of all, the valuable vegetation. See that there are lots of vegetation in the Himalayan area which are having some medicinal qualities. So whatever the destruction is being done in the Himalayan area, not only the rocks, not only the soil, but the vegetation, and then the land which is available for the road is not has been used by during the British period, but due to that vulnerability of the Himalayan area towards the Indian side, the new roads has not been constructed in at the same pace as the population in that area is increasing. Because in the China area, same problem arose some 2 decades ago. But they have overcome that problem by constructing more roads. But even though they have stopped the tourists in the Nubei mountain site. But the thing is that if you are planning for construction of the main roads, then a new site has to be selected. And that can carry the extra load of the tourists, because these tourists are otherwise good for the Himalayan states, because the Himalayan states are not having any industry. The tourists are only the source of the income for the states. So we should not say that tourism should be stopped. Tourism should be there, but in a sustainable way.
See, we have to create an an environment for everything. Regulation doesn't happen in isolation. If the hilly areas are facing a problem, environmental degradation due to tourism, we need to regulate it in such a manner. Like we encourage more of a natural trekking type of tourism. Instead of encouraging people to come in cars and stay in a hotel and go back, these kind of things are not actually, these you can have it elsewhere also. So tourism, even in earlier times, like you used to go to a pilgrimage, you used to go on foot. Now we are encouraging people to go up to the mandir to using helicopters. So this, what I mean to say is, we are encouraging vehicle use too much in this tourism race, and we need to curtail that, because there is a carrying capacity, as speaker before me talked, and you have been also saying it. So the carrying capacity need to be calculated for every hill station, and it should not go beyond that. It's encouraging more roads. In my opinion, encouraging more roads is further risky, because enough roads have been built in these areas. These are mountains, very fragile, because they are largely made of soil. So unlike these Aravalli, which are hard rocks, it's not true for Himalayas. So the hill shales are very vulnerable. If you construct a road, and it takes at least 60 years for any hillside to recover.